At a community wellness event just a few weeks ago, I found myself standing off to the side, quietly watching men over 60 move through their day. Some stopped at the blood pressure booth, some were chatting with volunteers, some were walking around exploring the room. But as I observed them, something really struck me. There was a subtle yet powerful difference between the men who were thriving and the men who were just trying to get through the afternoon. And it all came down to one simple pattern. Most of them couldn't do one basic thing, one small action that instantly revealed the truth about their functional strength. But the few who could, they carried themselves differently. You could see it in their posture, in their energy, in the way they interacted with the world around them. They moved with a vitality that made everyone notice them without even trying. And here's the part most people don't understand. Most men over 60 have quietly accepted the idea that decline is inevitable. They believe weakness is just something that comes with age, as if it's written into their DNA. They think losing strength, losing sharpness, losing confidence is just how it is. But that's simply not true. Because if you can still do these 7 abilities I'm about to walk you through, you're not fading, you're not declining, you're not falling behind. You're thriving in ways that most men never realize are still within their reach. Before I walk you through these 7 abilities, let me ask you something. And don't skip this part. I want you to tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now. I love seeing the global community we're building here together. My name is Dr. Emily, and welcome to Dr. Emily 360. For the past 12 years, I've dedicated my work to helping men over 60 maintain their strength, their independence, and their quality of life. And one thing I've learned over and over is this: aging isn't the enemy. Inactivity is. What we stop doing is what causes the real decline. Not the birthday candles, not the number on your driver's license, not the year on the calendar. So as you listen to these 7 tests, I want you to be honest with yourself. No judgment, no shame, just awareness. Because awareness is the first step to strengthening what you already have, or rebuilding what you've lost. Let's begin with something you probably do every single day without realizing how important it is. Can you climb 2 flights of stairs without gasping for air? It sounds simple, almost too simple. But if you can do this comfortably, you're already ahead of more than half of the men your age. Those stairs aren't testing just your legs, they're testing your heart, they're testing your lungs, they're testing how efficiently your body is delivering oxygen to your muscles. Every single step you climb without struggle is a sign that your cardiovascular system is still functioning beautifully. Why does this matter? Because cardiovascular strength is the foundation of independence. It's what allows you to walk into a grocery store without needing to take breaks, to enjoy a vacation without worrying about fatigue, to play with your grandkids without sitting out after a few minutes. Men who climb stairs confidently are men who still have the physical reserve to live life, not just manage it. And the great news is, even if stairs are difficult for you right now, this is one of the easiest things to train. Start with 1 flight. Rest. Then go again. Your heart and lungs will adapt. The body is amazing like that. Now, physical strength is one thing, but the second marker goes deeper. Can you remember what you ate for dinner yesterday without pausing or straining to recall it? I know that seems like a small detail, something insignificant. But memory isn't small. It's a reflection of your cognitive function, your brain's ability to store, process, and retrieve information. Many men your age are living in a fog. They're forgetting names, losing items, repeating themselves, feeling disconnected from conversations. And they accept it as normal. But sharp memory tells me your brain is still firing well, you're still engaged, you're still present, you're still capable of learning and growing. Biologically, this comes down to your hippocampus, the memory center of the brain, which thrives on oxygen, movement, mental stimulation, and proper sleep. When you move your body, when you challenge your mind, when you nourish yourself well, you're literally feeding your brain. If your memory has become foggy, don't panic. Work it like a muscle. read, solve puzzles. Engage in conversations that challenge you, learn a new skill. And above all, move your body because what's good for your heart is good for your brain. The third ability is one that often surprises people because it looks deceptively simple. Can you stand on one leg for 15 seconds without wobbling or reaching for support? Most men think balance is just about not falling, but it's so much more than that. Balance is trust, it's confidence in your body. It's coordination between your muscles, your vision, your inner ear, and your sense of where your body is in space. When all of these systems communicate well, you move through the world comfortably. You walk across uneven sidewalks. You climb curbs. You step around obstacles. You navigate life without hesitation. Studies show that balance after 60 is one of the strongest predictors of fall risk, and falls are one of the biggest threats to independence. A fall can change your whole life in a single moment. But here's the good news. Balance is one of the most trainable abilities. Stand on one leg while brushing your teeth. Practice heel-to-toe walking in the living room. Try yoga or tai chi. These small activities literally rewire your nervous system and strengthen your stabilizing muscles. Before we continue, I want you to pause for a moment and comment below which of these three you feel strongest in. I read your comments because they help me understand your struggles and your victories. Now let's move on to something a little different, because strength and cognition don't matter much if your emotional health is fading. The fourth marker is simple but profound. Can you still laugh until your stomach hurts? Not a polite laugh, not a small smile. I mean a real, deep, joyful laugh. The kind that makes your eyes water and your whole body shake. Most men over 60 have forgotten how to laugh deeply. Life has handed them disappointments, responsibilities, losses, and they've slowly built emotional armor. They carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. They don't allow themselves to feel lightness anymore. But laughter is one of the most powerful signs of emotional resilience. When you can laugh deeply, it means life hasn't hardened you. It means you can still feel joy. You can still be present. You can still release tension. And laughter isn't just emotional, it's biological. Deep laughter releases endorphins, boosts your immune system, reduces stress hormones, improves circulation, and literally sends healing signals throughout your body. Men who laugh freely attract connection because joy is magnetic. If you haven't laughed deeply in a while, intentionally seek moments that bring you joy. Watch something funny. Spend time with people who lift your spirit. Allow yourself to be amused again. Laughter reconnects you to life. And that leads us to the fifth marker, your ability to maintain real friendships. Not the casual, "Hey, how have you been?" acquaintances. I'm talking about true friends, people you talk to, people you trust, people you can be honest with. Because after 60, loneliness becomes one of the biggest threats to health. In fact, research shows that isolation is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how powerful social health is. Men who maintain friendships tend to live longer, think more clearly, and stay emotionally stable. But I know maintaining friendships can become difficult. You retire, people move, life changes, routines shift. It's easy for your circle to shrink. If you've noticed your friendships fading, take action. Reconnect with old friends. Join a group. Take a class. Volunteer. Engage in your community. Friendships are not a luxury at this age. They're essential for your mental and emotional health. They keep you grounded, supported, and connected to the world. Social health brings us to the sixth marker, which is one of my favorites because it says so much about your independence. Can you still cook yourself a real meal from scratch? Not microwaving something, not opening a can. I mean planning, preparing, cooking, creating something nourishing. This may seem small, but it reflects mental sharpness, creativity, and independence. Cooking requires you to think ahead, follow steps, time multiple tasks, and use your senses. It's actually one of the best cognitive exercises. And men who cook tend to eat healthier because they control what goes into their food. There's also dignity in feeding yourself. It's an act of self-care, an expression of independence. And if you never learned to cook, please remember it's never too late. Start simple. Learn one dish at a time. You would be amazed how empowering it feels to create your own meals, and your brain will thank you for the stimulation. Before we move into the 7th and final marker, take a moment to hit that subscribe button if you're getting value from this video, and share this with another man in your life who deserves to hear this message. We are building a community of strength, awareness, and resilience here on Dr. Emily 360, and I don't want you to miss the conversations that could change your life. Now let's talk about the 7th test, the one that brings all the others together. Can you still make decisions quickly and confidently? Without second-guessing yourself, without needing reassurance from everyone around you, without becoming paralyzed by the fear of doing something wrong. As men age, many begin to lose trust in their own judgment. They worry more. They hesitate more. They overthink small decisions and avoid big ones. But if you can still evaluate a situation, make a choice, and act decisively, that means you still have strong executive function. You're using the part of your brain responsible for planning, problem-solving, and making judgments. Decision-making is deeply tied to independence. When you trust yourself, you maintain control of your life. You don't surrender your choices to others. You don't live in hesitation. You don't shrink away from responsibility. If you found yourself becoming more indecisive lately, start practicing with small decisions. What to eat today, whether to walk left or right, which shirt to wear. Build the muscle of confidence so it's ready when the bigger decisions come. Now here's the most important thing I want you to understand. You don't need to master all 7 areas to be exceptional. Even having 4 or 5 makes you stronger than most men your age. And having 6 or 7? That means you're thriving in a way that should make your younger self proud. These aren't tests of perfection. These are reflections of how engaged you are with your own life. Every stair you climb, every laugh you allow yourself to feel, every meal you prepare, every friend you maintain, every confident decision you make, these are proof that aging doesn't diminish you unless you let it. All 7 of these markers are trainable. None of them are fixed. None of them are out of reach. They are influenced by the small choices you make every single day. If this message shifted your perspective, then I want you to take action right now. Subscribe to Dr. Emily 360. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the guidance that could protect your strength, your independence, and your confidence. Share this with a man who needs to hear the truth about his potential. And comment below, and tell me which of these 7 abilities surprised you the most. I respond to comments because conversation is part of healing. As you leave this video, I want you to remember something powerful. Age doesn't weaken the man who refuses to surrender. Your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, and beyond can be decades of purpose, strength, and joy. These 7 abilities aren't about being the strongest man in the room. They're about preserving your independence, your dignity, your connection to life. And every single one of them is within your control. Climb the stairs, sharpen your mind, strengthen your balance, laugh deeply, maintain your friendships, cook your meals, make your decisions. These small acts aren't small at all. They're declarations. They say you're still here, you're still capable, you're still living, and you are far from done. I'm Dr. Emily, and this is Dr. Emily 360. Take care of yourself. You are absolutely worth it.